Okay, good morning, everybody. This is a post for my video diary on the culture proof, and it'll appear in Hustle for Info every Sunday. So this one's it's gonna make up part of the post for Hustle for Info, and I want to focus on Roku, and I want to analyze that company in terms of management analysis for strategy. So I'm not really familiar with Roku, even though I own one myself. So, because it hasn't done a lot of publicity, it hasn't done a lot of marketing um, on the web and stuff like that. So, um, Roku, I just shared that the founder of Roku, um, who used to work for Netflix, invented DVR technology. DVR technology is huge, right? It's part of your cable box. It's kind of like TiVo. Roku started out as an appliance, a hardware company. So and the way to think about Roku is you have a TV cable box that interprets data over cable, cable wire, and Roku is similar to that TV cable box, but it's TV internet box. So it interprets data over internet wire. The two types of data are different. So even though the output is very similar, was so the underpinnings is that the Roku box and your TV cable box are interpreting different data, right? But they sort of do the same function, which is deliver content to your TV screen. Now, the thing with content on the internet, in terms of like full movies, full TV shows, is that it's not as regular, as predictable, as programmed as your TV, what's coming through your cable box. So, what's coming through your cable box has like TV guide. You flip through TV guide, it's like planned out for like the entire year practically. And it's always new stuff, right? The networks are always creating new sitcoms, new shows, right? And the content's always changing up. What's on the internet is a lot smaller. So you're still for the case of YouTube, you see a lot of like, home created content or small budget content, right? But there are movies, there are movie channels on Roku as well, right? So what's so like the barrier, so like the barrier to growth Roku is seeing is that it's a hardware, right? It doesn't create content. It's like a PC maker. It doesn't create the software, right? Like the games and the websites that you see on your computer. It doesn't create those things. It just creates the laptop. So Roku just creates the Roku box, right? And what's impeding their growth is that there's not enough content. Like, the type that you're used to. Like you want to sit down for like an hour and a half and watch a movie. There's not so many of it. Or you want to sit down and watch the latest sitcom. There's not so many of it on the internet. So it's like a laptop, sort of like that nobody's creating software for. So it's hitting that barrier. So it wants to transition itself, sort of not just create the hardware like a laptop or its appliance, but it doesn't want to produce movies. What Netflix has done is it's a subscription service, not hardware, but it's starting to produce movies in-house, like funding movies like Amazon is doing, right? So Roku is not funding movies. Right? So what it's doing is it's got several alternatives, right? Other ways of making revenue. One of which is advertising, right? Even though I come from the online advertising world, right? I'm a little bit. You really have to know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, you can stand head and shoulders above the competition. So I'm not going to give away any trade secrets. But if you know the landscape and you know the behind the scenes, how everything works, you can stand head and shoulders above the competition. You know, I'll give you a hint, like Anna Wintour or Time Magazine, those or New York Times, they'll say the same thing. We're not sweating it. Behind the scenes, we got this secret recipe. You know, just like KFC's not sweating it. Behind the scenes, we got a secret recipe. And like new franchises can open, you know, diversity, more Chinese food, more Vietnamese. We're not sweating it. You know, behind the scenes, we do it a certain way. And no one franchisee is looking to be like richer than Bill Gates. We're just looking for a livelihood, you know. And we're accomplishing that task. You know, livelihood for franchisee owners. No one's looking to be the world's richest billionaire. So we're not really sweating it. Behind the scenes, we got our own thing. And I think, you know, when you think of KFC, we kind of stand head and shoulders above everybody else. Same with advertising. Same with advertising on the internet. New York Times not sweating it. Time Magazine not sweating. Disney not sweating. You know what I mean? Some things behind the scenes, even though there's more diversity, they're just not sweating. And if you know what you're doing in advertising, you know how to sweat it. Even though there's more diversity. So that's one alternative that Roku is looking to do, is like the movies, the full length movies, and the sitcoms that are available on there. They'll sell advertising. Another thing is doing is selling the software. So if you want to stream, if you're like you got a movie you want to stream, or a movie company you want to stream, it'll sell you the software. What software? It's what it takes is, you know, an actual movie. I'll give you some background knowledge. I read this, right? An actual movie in production, right? When they deliver it, they no longer deliver it in canisters. They used to deliver something in canister, but nowadays the production chain for a movie can be all over the world. So to get, say, a raw movie to like a sound editor in another country or another city, they'll shoot it over the internet. But the movie file is like 1 trillion megabits of information, like uncompressed. It's huge information. It's almost like all the information in North America is so big. Like, what I'm saying is, a movie file, they'll transport a movie during like pre-production or post-production, like, you know, editing, sound editing, all that, over the internet. They don't do it by mail anymore, but the size of that file is like practically all the data in North America is so big, right? And then after they compress it, you know, in high def and all that, high definition and everything, and then when it goes over your TV, then it's manageable. It doesn't clog up your bandwidth. It doesn't take up like 1 trillion megabits of information. But while they're producing it and creating it, they transport it over the internet. It is huge. So Roku wants to get into the software aspect of, like, if you got a big movie file with like high definition, it compresses it, and when it gets to you, what you see is sort of like the original quality. So that's all software, you know, compression, encryption, all that stuff, without losing the quality. So apparently a movie is like Star Wars, with all the special effects and all the sound, just the raw data, and they move it, right? not in canisters, digital, over the internet now. But they got a dedicated pipe, right? Dedicated internet wire. It's like a trillion mega gillion bits. It's huge. So that's where software comes in. Roku wants to get into that. But okay, so I came up with my own suggestion. Right? So this is so like free homemade advice for Roku. Right? They should become like a hosting reseller as well. Because I'm watching Crackle, right? And I'm watching other channels with free movies. I realize Roku is the laptop, the platform, right? The box, right? It might sell the software, but these channels have to host their files on their own. And a lot of these independent channels on Roku have to pay for hosting services. Maybe Roku can provide hosting services to make it easier for independent channels, because surprisingly, not all studios own the licenses and the libraries of every movie ever made. A lot of times, it's like these low distributors. They'll own licenses to like movies that you actually want to see, you missed out on growing up, or classics you heard about. Yeah, they'll own licenses to that. The major studios don't own every movie out there. A lot of like little people own it. So you'll see it on Roku. Like somebody has a collection of like, I don't know, old musicals. You see it on Roku. Like musicals like Cary Grant and all these old time musicals. You see it on Roku. Right? And it's owned by like a small company. Roku can provide hosting services for the type of companies that want to stream online. And you know, that'll support so like the content market. And another thing I came up with is, well, Roku is not a subscription service, but you can subscribe to specialty channels on Roku. So you can subscribe to Netflix on Roku. You can subscribe to Google Red on Roku. You can even subscribe to Amazon Prime on Roku, because Amazon Prime is a subscription service. So it's Google Red. Roku is the hardware, like a laptop. So you get the free channels, you get the subscription channels as well. Because if you subscribe to Netflix, you don't buy the Netflix hardware. You need something like a Roku or an Apple TV or something like that. All right, didn't know that? Now you do. So Roku is just the hardware, but it wants to stir things up. You know, it wants people using the internet. It's creating the market. But instead of producing movies like Netflix that the Roku founder used to work for, I think it should provide hosting services. Because a lot of these independent channels have libraries of movies that they'll put up. And why would you put up free movies? Okay, I'll give you. Okay, so back to Roku. The last thing is it's got to work on its branding. It doesn't want any of that controversy, right? It doesn't want controversy. I mean, people can lie about you, but it won't stick. You don't want something real like government investigation or protests on the streets or something. Lies doesn't really matter. It doesn't really stick. You can address it, it doesn't stick. Rumors and lies doesn't stick. But when you operate a company, you don't want a lot of protests. You don't want government, all this stuff, crazy stuff. Right? So branding, it can provide hosting services for a company like Crackle, for like the movie channel on there, for all these independent channels. I mean, it would probably be a good deal, right? And of course, I'm coming back. going back, Roku is a hardware, like a TV cable box. It's not it's not a content producer. And regarding ads, you really got to know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you don't sweat it very much. Everybody else can be spinning their wheels, and it seems like that they just grew a money tree, but no, you know what I mean. So franchisees know, they kind of know, because their revenues don't really dip, but even though the marketplace gotten more crowded, so if you know what you're doing behind the scenes, you don't have to worry about it. But you know, Roku probably would have a better advantage over websites because I find it would be hard sort of to do all those funny things that websites are known to do, like refreshing ads or fake cookies and all that stuff. Right? I mean, you're actually watching it. So the quality of the ad quality of ad viewership would be better, would be near TV. You know, you can trust it. There's websites are known for, so like stuffing their numbers just to get more ads seen by robots. So and then what was I gonna say after branding? I totally forgot. I totally forgot. So branding, and then there was like software and hardware and hosting services. That's the thing that just popped out. I think that's the new one, hosting services. You know, for these guys. Oh yeah. So why would a studio say you're a major studio, right? Why would you like put out old movies for people to see, especially if you got your own channel? Kind of like Paramount Vault. Paramount has a channel on YouTube called Paramount Vault, and once in a while it'll put out a free feature-length movie from the Paramount collection. Why? Let's say you were Will Smith. Will Smith is currently on Roku, one of the channels on Roku. Hancock and well, some other movie. Why? Right? Well, you can say it's part of your marketing budget. Roku is a great marketing platform. Say Will Smith next year, it's got a big movie coming out, right? And instead of spending like say 5,000 on a commercial or something, you put his movie on your own channel on Roku, like one of his old movies. Ever thought about that? Say you start a channel on Roku, and it's older movies, Will Smith movies, Emilio Estevez movies, whatever, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, right? It's older movies. But Will Smith's got a movie coming out next year or whatever. You know, you want to keep those stars under contract, top of mind. Instead of creating like buying ads, you got a channel on Roku. Put up one of their old movies as part of your marketing budget. Write it off as part of like advertising. It's a good idea, right? That's why they might do it. They'll put up Hancock on Roku on their own channel and write it off as advertising. And then the next thing you know, Will Smith's got a brand new movie in theaters. Does it relate? It relates like how? Like boom, like crazy glue. You know? Can you imagine? Oh, I just watched Will Smith and Hancock like last week on Roku. Nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon. Oh, he just got a new movie in the theaters. Boom, like crazy glue. It fucking relates like crazy glue. So that's another marketing platform. Never thought about that. Why would all these other people? Let's say they put a movie up on Roku, like some old movie. Boom, right? And then not you don't necessarily have to buy the DVD, but then they can take it to A&E, they can take it to Turner Broadcasting and say, My library is so popular. It's just, you know, sticks like crazy glue. I don't know. Behind the scenes, they got their own reasons. I don't know it. It's all work related and stuff. Sticks like crazy glue. So this is my part of my post for I look at Roku on the culture proven. I also included in my article for Hustle for Info. Um, Looking at the company Roku this week. Went to my house. I refreshed it. It's touched up. I hope you like it. Bye bye, chumps.